Hello, Libra. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading for Libra for the week of September 28th to October 4th. Try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we begin with the Seven of Cups, okay? This is the current situation. It feels like there's been a peek kind of behind the curtain somewhere in your life, yeah? I feel like you're kind of getting, a glimpse into something's real nature or someone's real nature. The Seven of Cups is very often a card that masquerades as something quite pretty and shiny and beautiful, right? And so there's kind of, there's a temptation there. There's almost an illusion that we fall for. Okay, so I feel like for a lot of you this week, it's kind of the realization that something that you thought was sweet, right, is not. Okay, it's not what you thought it was. So you may be feeling some kind of confusion about your choices right now. This is something that, you know, I feel like this is a card that's saying steer clear of something. Yeah, and it may be that you have a gut feeling that something isn't what it seems. Whether this is at home, at work, at school, kind of got to listen to that feeling. If you're getting a kind of a queasy feeling about someone or something, don't ignore it. I'm not saying you have to act on it immediately and, you know, do some drastic impulsive thing, but don't ignore it. Okay? Don't ignore the red flags if you feel them about anything in your life right now. So I feel like this week you're going to be getting some mixed feelings, let's say, about somebody or about a situation that you're in, and this card wants you to pay attention to that, okay? Now let's keep going. Let's use our Dove and Serpent spread. Let's put the rest of our cards out on the table. There's a very nice 10 of Pentacles. We have a 2 of Cups. We have your Libra power card, the adjustment card. Okay, we have a 5 of Swords. That makes a lot of sense here. We have an Empress, beautiful, beautiful Empress energy. We have a Hierophant. We have an Ace of Swords. We have a 6 of Swords. That's good too. And we have, ooh, look at that, a Knight of Swords, your other superpower card. Both of these cards are associated with the sign of Libra. The adjustment card and the Knight of Swords are both the, you know, the cardinal air Libra energy cards. So that's quite rare to get both of these. I don't know that we've had both power cards in any particular signs reading for a while. Okay, so really a good omen, and this kind of is the card's way of saying, hey, listen up, right? Because this one is definitely meant for you. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card, a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set this down right over here with Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck, right there on top. We're not going to name the eternal name until the very end, but that card will tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put a comment below, all right? Whatever you got, put it down there, yeah. So let's look around the room. We see 1, 2, 3 majors. We don't have any fire. Okay, we got water and water. We got air, 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 a little bit of earth, okay? So I think this is, you know, in a large part, there's an emphasis on the air energy. And I think that's because, like, you're trying to understand what your intuition's telling you this week, okay? So I think this is a time where you might be overthinking a lot. You might have a lot of confusion, a lot of doubts, a lot of questions about stuff. Trust the feeling, trust the gut, okay? So that's 7. This is now your current situation. This is where things stand in your life right now. This is kind of the big circumstances that you feel. Some of you are getting the red flag about a relationship. If you're in a relationship or you're potentially getting into a romantic relationship, just pay attention at what your gut's telling you, Okay? If you're about to make a business deal, pay attention to what your gut's telling you. And if your gut's telling you something's fishy, go do a little bit of investigation. Go ask more questions. Say, I'm not going to sign the papers yet. Let me go and, let me read through the contract or have someone else read it, Do your due diligence, basically, is what this card is trying to say. Okay. Some of you also with the Seven of Cups may be feeling like your dreams or your progress have gotten a little bit stuck at the moment. Okay. And I think that sometimes it's okay to be stuck. And I like that we don't really have any fire. I mean, maybe a little bit of fire would be good, right? But it's kind of saying we don't have to try to force things right now. That we can just say, okay, things aren't flowing the way I wanted them to. I've just got to kind of figure out what to do. I've got to make some choices. I got to look at the options, and then we move forward. We don't have to have that fiery energy right now. Okay, so I think it's an okay thing that there isn't any fire. So I think there may be that feeling of things have stagnated a little bit, that things are not flowing the way they should. Okay. Now our next card is the Ten of Pentacles. This is wealth, right? This is stability. This is legacy. This is going to be a week of completion. Okay. So whatever is stuck right now is going to get unstuck. This is about the long-term results. Okay, so even though we feel kind of stuck right now, I think that you are making progress toward these long-term goals. In a way, it's kind of like, you're looking at the line of your trajectory, and you want it to go up and to the right, okay? But in any given day, it might be down, it might be up, it might be flat. But if you step back and you look at the bigger picture, you can see that you've been making progress all along, okay? So in a way, the what's going to help you right now, or what is supporting you on your path, is the recognition that you are making progress in the bigger picture of things. Okay, that you are still on track to sort of accomplish the long-term goals. Okay, this is the big picture. You're building something for the future. This is you really, in another sense, dreaming in high def. Like you can see the fibers on the shag carpet. You're zoomed in so far. You can see the wrinkles on the faces and the bubbles in the wallpaper, So if you're feeling some kind of a gut feeling here, again with that Seven of Cups, if you're feeling some kind of an intuitive suggestion, pay attention to it because it may have implications way out into the future for you, okay? Another way of looking this for some of you, it's the feeling that the Seven of Cups, what might seem very appealing now in the present moment, more immediately gratifying, it might be a short-term indulgence. Think of its long-term consequences, okay? So I think this is a week really of like paying attention to what your intuition's telling you. If you feel red flags about something, pay attention. And also consider some things in your life that might be feeling good now, but aren't good for you over the long term, okay? And so it'd be a good week to address a lot of that kind of stuff in your life, okay? Because we're trying to look at the big picture here with the Ten of Pentacles. I think this is also, indicating that there is going to be a big win for you this week. That something really good is happening that's going to confirm for you that, yeah, you're on track toward your best life. This is like that, again, the picture-perfect life, the best life, the good life. This is your Big Rock Candy Mountain. This is your Emerald City. This is your paradise, okay? And so it's important that you pay attention to what your gut is telling you to stay away from, and then you also pay attention to the good things that are showing up, the wins, the abundance, the harvest, the rewards that are coming in that will confirm when you're on the right path, okay? And now, below the surface, what's in your heart, right? We have love, harmony, union, reciprocity. I think if more than anything right now, you're kind of, what you're really desiring in your life is unity. It's just the feeling of togetherness, the feeling of love. Whether it's divine love, self-love, platonic love, or romantic love, I think you're looking for that. You want, your heart this week anyway seems to be really really wanting a connection, really wanting a deep connection, right? Romance, partnership, friendship, okay? Wanting something meaningful, a deeper bond here. And again, this is reciprocity. This is like if you're looking for romantic love, this is you wanting a partner that's going to be equal to you, supportive of you, that's going to uplift you as you do these things for them too, that it's going to be a two-way street. It's going to be mutual love and respect, mutual affection and concern, right? It's going to be a bond that will continue to grow and evolve and strengthen over time. You're looking for something real and something true. The Seven of Cups is saying, maybe we need to look closer, okay? If you're in, like I said, if you're in a relationship or you're considering getting into a more serious romantic relationship, just pay attention to your instinct. It's kind of, the cards are saying, look closer at this other person to make sure they're the one. Okay, just be cautious if it is a romantic thing for you. If it's anything for you, okay? If it's any kind of a partnership. Because I feel like this is kind of saying that, we want something that is going to be real. And when we want this so bad, we might tend to overlook some of the red flags. We might tend to ignore some of those red flags, okay? Because I feel like this is, because it's under the surface, and it might be something that's kind of not so apparent to your consciousness, right? Is that you're really trying to lean into this relationship, that you want something to be real, you want something to work so bad. This is an urge to merge, right? And we could be talking business. For some of you, this is going to be like a friendship. It's going to be, a job situation. Some of you, it's going to be romance. I think you really want it to work to the point where you might be kind of unconsciously ignoring some red flags. Okay, so I think it's important that you realize that your heart wants it to work. Your heart wants this like more than anything, And for some of you, like I said, it's going to be the romance. For some of you, it's going to be the job, the career, the friendship, the win. You want this to be the path, right? That's going to lead you to your best life. It's kind of like if it's romance, you want this to be the person that you build the family with, that you build the future with. And I don't think the cards are telling you that it's not. I think the cards are simply saying pay attention to the red flags. Okay. I feel like this week is really showing that there is this a deeper desire for union in your life. Okay. And this might be what's motivating a lot of your choices right now is this the desire for that unity. Okay. All right, now, in the background position, okay, this is last week, this is some unfinished business, lingering energy, recent past. It's your adjustment card, okay? It's balance, it's fairness, it's truth. I feel like last week there was a kind of a shift in your life. I feel like there was more balance in your life last week, that things maybe felt that they were more equal or more even. Okay, that there was a type of fairness that you were experiencing, or things seemed very clear. Your choices seemed like they came to you very, very easily. Okay, I kind of feel now with the 7 and the 5 here that we're feeling a little bit less balanced than we were last week. Okay, the Libra energy here, maybe this was like you were really feeling your independence. Maybe this was you were making choices based on what you wanted for your life, and it was like you were making choices real quick and easy. Like it was just your discernment was really on. Yeah, and now I feel like there's a little bit of a slowdown, a little bit of this stuck energy, a little bit of uncertainty with the 5 of Swords. Okay, so. I think that this is now something that we kind of want to get back to. Incidentally, we have your other superpower card here in the sort of the distant future, or the long-term outcome here, the destiny card, right? With that Knight of Swords. So I feel that this is a week where maybe you're feeling a little bit a little bit further away from your true self than you were, last week or the week before. Okay, so there's something that's kind of still lingering here, and I wonder if you're starting to have some red flags, some confusion, some doubts or questions about a choice that you had already made. Okay, about something that you already sort of assigned a value to. So for some of you, this could be last week we kind of decided I like that person, but now this week it's like, I don't know, now I'm not sure, right? Or maybe this was kind of like, you feel like that's the job for me, I'm going to sign that contract, I'm going to get involved with that company, and now you're saying, did I make a mistake? And I don't think the cards are saying one way or the other whether you did or you did not. But I think that the cards are saying, look, it's okay for you to then, have this sort of retrospective energy and say, okay, well, you know what? I made a choice yesterday. It doesn't mean I have to agree to that choice still today. Like, I can change my mind. I can say, well, you know what? More information came in, and now my decision that I made yesterday, I wouldn't make the same decision today because I know more. And I think that additional data is kind of an instinct. It's this gut feeling that maybe is going to lead you to more investigation or to asking more questions, and then you gain more information. Maybe your decision would have been different. Okay? So in a way, I think this card is saying, don't regret your decision. Don't be upset with yourself. Don't feel guilty about what you decided last week. It's just a matter of now it's a new week. You get to make a decision again. And you're different than you were last week, right? You've evolved. You've grown a little bit since last week. There's more feelings. There's more thoughts. The circumstances have changed a little bit, okay? This could be for some of you. Last week was a week of course corrections. And now we're in that Seven of Cups. So it may feel as if one of those course corrections was not exactly the right move, because now it kind of put us into a swamp a little bit. Put us into kind of a sticky little kind of stuck mud feeling. But I feel that it's not trying to invalidate the choices that you made last week, okay? I think it's saying that, we have to carry this energy forward with us. I think this is a good thing that this is here, because this is energy that is, it's still affecting the present. And in a way, this is you realizing that all the choices that you've ever made over your entire life are always affecting our present moment. We are who we are today because of every choice we've ever made. And so keeping this energy close to you is allowing you to realize that what I'm doing and saying and thinking and feeling and my environment right now is because of the last choice I made. Okay? So we kind of see our life as just this long chain of karma, of cause and effect. I think you're somebody that really understands the consequences of your choices, and I think that you're the first one to admit when you made a mistake. Yeah, if something is off balance now, if you're experiencing some sort of situation that doesn't feel quite right, and you're questioning whether it's the right place for you, I think you're the first to say, okay, well, let me look back and see where I might have made a wrong turn, or where maybe I selected something based on some faulty information. Okay, without any kind of blame or anything like that going on. I think it's just simply, understanding that, the outcome didn't match the sort of input. Okay, that what you thought you were maybe getting out of something, it wasn't there. Yeah, and so it makes me wonder with the Seven of Cups and that sort of gut feeling, if you made a choice last week that was based on an assumption about somebody that turns out wasn't exactly true. I feel like there's somebody that's kind of revealing their true colors to you. And so I almost want to say false pretenses somewhere. Okay? But let's go up top here. What's on your mind this week is a Five of Swords. To me, this is a card of defeat. This is a card of maybe confusion. This is a card of looking for answers. Okay? This may be even what's on your mind is really a frustration and an anger, and maybe you're feeling that you've been kind of lied to. You maybe feeling that you've been undermined. Okay, this is an very argumentative energy. It's kind of like you believe something different than somebody else, and you're going to speak up about it. You're not staying quiet. Okay, I think this is a week of picking your battles. Okay, for one thing, maybe understanding whether or not this is something that needs to be kind of fought for and really argued and debated, or if this is something that just needs to be corrected and moved on from. You see what I mean? In a way, the Five of Swords could be assigning blame or trying to prove that we're right. Maybe that's not what you should really be doing this week. Maybe this is really recognizing that, hey, this isn't what I thought it was. I need to go in a different direction. Simple. Keep it simple, right? Don't fight battles that can't be won. Again, there's no fire energy. So maybe this isn't so much about fighting, but it's kind of like, you're trying to make sense of something in your life right now. For some of you, this might be the feeling like, I'm trying really hard to figure out my next move, but things seem a little chaotic in the mind, okay? That I'm having a difficult time putting together a plan that seems clear, right? This is sometimes a lot of static in the mind. Yeah, a lot of thoughts kind of going on. All the Swords cards have a lot of these very jagged lines, very sharp angles, and very kind of fractal looking. And there's only some of the cards that actually show any sort of solid structure in this sort of noise. This is a lot of static. So what's on your mind right now is, I feel like a lot of questions. A lot of trying to sift through things and find answers. I like that we have the Ace and the Six over here, because I show that while the week might start off a little bit chaotic and with a lot of questions, I feel like you're getting a lot of answers and you're getting a solid plan throughout the week. Okay, so continue to ask questions and consider your situation. Continue to think about it. Okay, but don't feel like you have to argue or fight or get involved in any kind of drama. Okay? Sometimes that's the Five of Swords. Sometimes it's like you kind of want to start some drama. You want to tell somebody what you really think about them. For some of you, this might be, a coworker, a family member, a friend, a romantic partner, and discovering something or getting that gut feeling, about somebody, and then you kind of want to share that with them. You kind of want to have it out and put everything on the table and have that kind of conversation. Not always the best idea. Now, you run into the risk of having an assumption about somebody, assuming, okay, they're a bad person and I'm getting that gut feeling that there's something wrong with them. Well, then I'm just going to leave. I'm going to go a different way. Well, it doesn't mean you're right about them. Okay, so I don't think we're really reading the other person. I think what's going on is that we're getting some doubts and some second thoughts, and we're getting some, we're getting that kind of instinct that's saying, this isn't where I really want to be or where I really need to be. So there's really no argument, there's no accusations that need to be made. It's just kind of like deciding whether you want to stay here and ride it out or whether you're gonna choose something else. Okay. But I do think that, this is you questioning. What's in your heart is love. What's on your mind is mind, right? The mind's doing what it's supposed to do. The heart is doing what it's supposed to do. And I think that it's kind of meeting in the middle with this, I don't know what to do. The heart wants what it wants. The mind's job is to say, well, is that really what we want? Or how logical is that we want this thing? Okay, so I kind of feel that this week you might have a little bit of opposition between your head and your heart, but just know that they're both doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. If these were reversed, then maybe that'd be a little bit of an issue, but it's kind of like it's your mind's job to kind of question what your heart is really yearning for. Your heart wants something so bad, that the mind has to come in and say, okay, you want that. Is it the right thing for you? Is there something that you're ignoring? What's the long-term effect going to be? What are the consequences, et cetera, right? So the mind's kind of doing what it needs to do. It's vetting something and it's asking the questions. So I feel like that's going to kind of dominate your week right now. It's just kind of like, going through things in your mind and trying to sort out how you feel, trying to sort out like what the facts are and what you think the long-term projections of certain choices might be for you, whether this is professional or personal and romantic or whatever, okay? Towards the end of the week and into next week, we've got a really wonderful Empress energy, okay? So I feel like this is a card of pleasure, it's a card of love, it's a card of real like enjoyment, okay? And so I feel that there is a big win. There is like a big harvest kind of energy. There is a lot of abundance that's coming in for you, especially toward the end of the week. Okay, so toward the 3rd, 4th, 5th of October, that sort of time frame. I feel like a lot of good things are going to be happening. There's a lot of growth, a lot of fertility, a lot of beauty and love and creativity. Okay, so things are not stuck, or things are getting unstuck this week. And it could be that this is just maybe a feeling of cold feet, okay? And I think that as the week progresses, you're going to have more and more clarity about how to navigate your life at this time, okay? This is showing that, maybe at the beginning of the week, it feels like there are certain choices and commitments. Toward the middle of the week, there might be a little bit of second thoughts, right? But by the end of the week, I think you're going to get a confirmation that your choices actually are pretty right on the money. Okay, this is going to be the end of the week, and even next week is going to be the love, the beauty, the creativity. This week might be kind of, trying to sort through our thoughts and feelings, trying to make sure that we're on the right course. Are there any adjustments that we need to make? What is our intuition telling us? It's kind of we're taking all of those things into account so that next week can be a real week of love, beauty, and creativity. Okay, this is a very nurturing kind of card. Now, for some of you, this might be the realization that your current circumstances, your current situation is a toxic one, okay? The choices that you make right now, taking your long-term well-being into account and the bigger picture into account, is going to allow you to do what you need to do this week so that next week can be healing and love and pleasure and nurturing. Okay? And so it really is important that you listen to that 7 of Cups, because this is here for a reason. This is that current situation, and I think you really need to understand if this is just you being nervous or getting cold feet, or if this is really your intuition telling you that, hey, the situation you're in now is kind of toxic, you got to get out of there. Okay? And, unfortunately, the cards aren't going to tell you what to do. But the cards are showing that you will know what to do. That you will have things figured out, okay, this week. Now, your general energy is the Hierophant. This is a card of guidance, teaching, and tradition, okay? This might be a week for you to really focus on some of your spiritual practices. I feel like you're seeking guidance from within. This is your general energy. It could be that some of you are in a teaching role in your life, or that you're sort of giving advice or you're giving guidance to other people. Sometimes the guide needs a little guidance too. Sometimes the wise one needs a little wisdom. Yeah. And so I feel that this is learning to communicate with your higher self. Yeah, and I feel like this is a week where you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn a lot about why you make the choices you make and why you get the outcomes that you get, and how you can make better decisions moving forward. Okay, how you can guide your life through your choices. This is the Navigator, and of course the adjustment card is you literally making those micro adjustments on the big ship's wheel or whatever the thing is, So this is that kind of inner guide. And as your general energy in this position, I feel like, other people see you as somebody that is very smart, like knows what they're doing. Maybe somebody, I don't know, maybe people look at you and think that you always make the right decisions. And that's a lot of pressure, to do that, isn't it? But I feel like you're always looking to refine yourself. So I think that this week, it's important that you kind of meditate on things, that you pray over it, whatever your spiritual practices are, whatever you do, if you do divination, tarot cards, if you do geomancy or Jing or tea leaves or whatever, that you do that and you try to understand what is the message that your soul and spirit is trying to tell you about your current situation. Because there's something here that is not what you think it is. Yeah. But this is the card that's saying you have the answers inside of you. This is kind of, really I think the card's way of saying you're not asking for advice from outside anywhere. You're not going to ask your best friend, hey, what do I do? You're asking yourself, your true self, your authentic self, okay? Because that's where this is really going to come from. And I think that if you're busy investigating the other person, I think you're going to get some conflicting data. There's going to be some yes and some no and some whatever. I think the real decision is going to come from inside. Because I think that Seven of Cups is like, yeah, there's a feeling here that something isn't what it seems. And it's something that something I feel like you already know, if that makes sense. Okay? Well, let's keep going, because we have an Ace of Swords here. This is clarity. And this is in the position of your environment. And this is insight. It's a breakthrough. I think that this week you are cutting through the confusion of the Five of Swords. And you're going to see something very, very clearly. Because right now we can't tell if this Seven of Cups is just me being nervous and kind of scared and getting cold feet. Or if there really is something bad here for me. Am I so desirous of this situation that I'm kind of being willfully ignorant? Or is my mind just finding problems where there aren't any, trying to sabotage my heart? See, this is a very tricky combination of cards. I think by looking into the future and seeing what the long-term trajectory of this situation is, that's going to help you get this clarity. So you're cutting through the confusion. You're using this sword, right? You're naming this feeling, and you're cutting through to the source. You're cutting through to the truth of what this is. Okay, and I think it's going to let you know exactly what you're supposed to do. So this week, again, it's kind of this idea of your spiritual practice or even meditation, if you're someone who meditates, if you're somebody that does tarot readings or divination or anything like that, because this card is about your consciousness penetrating into the divine realm. You're going outside of the realm of thought, Libra, and you're penetrating into that, the cosmic, the Akashic records kind of thing, right? The tip of the sword is in outer space. The yellow here, that's the atmosphere of the mind. That's the air. Outside of the air is the vacuum of space, right? And that's where you can receive that divine signal. And that's exactly what's coming into the top of that sword. It's the antenna on the top of your head that's receiving that divine wisdom and that download. It's coming from your true self or the universe, right? Whatever you want to say. But it's giving you the clarity and the certainty about why you feel the way you feel now and what move you're supposed to make. Okay. Now, I don't think you're judging anybody else, like if there's another person here. You're not judging them. You're not passing judgment on anybody. But I think you're getting clarity into how this is going to go down for you and whether or not you're going to stay or you're going to go. Okay. So a lot of clarity. I think that this is the week where you're going to get certainty about this choice, whether this was the right choice for you or whether there was a misstep somewhere. The next card you have is the Six of Swords in the hopes, fears, sometimes your desires or anxieties or expectations. This is a card of progress, calm, mental balance. Okay, this is the solution. This is the answer. This is you asking the question. This is you clearing your mind so that you can receive the answer. So this is definitely a week for solutions, okay? I think the fear here is that you won't be able to move on, that you'll be forever stuck here. Now, you'll have to forgive me. I had to hit the cough button. Still dealing with the chest cold, head cold, body aches, and the whole smorgasbord. So you'll have to bear with me. The Six of Swords is a card of moving on from something, right? It's kind of like there's a plan, and now I can follow the course. I can follow my GPS, yeah? And so as a fear, it's kind of like saying, what if I'm stuck here forever? Okay, what if I've made a decision now that's landed me in this quicksand and I can't get out of it? That would be terrible. So that's a fear, that's an anxiety, right? And, regardless of what your situation is, some of you may be feeling, Libra, like you're stuck somewhere. You're not. Nothing's ever stuck. Things want to flow, and they will flow. Sometimes we're just not sure how to dislodge something, okay? As the hope, what you're really hoping for this week, you're hoping for a plan. You're hoping for some clarity. You're hoping for some organization and some balance. You're hoping to sort of, cross this swamp and get to clear waters. Smoother ground, right, sort of is ahead for you. And this is a card of moving on. This is a card of moving forward with something. Whether you're moving forward with this person or this job or this situation, or whether you're moving in a different direction, sort of independently, well, that's going to be up to you and up to your clarity, up to your truth. Okay. But this is progress. Yeah. This is having a plan and our ability to follow the plan. And I think that's the perfect position for this card. Because that's what we're hoping for, and that's what we're afraid we're not going to get. Okay? But you will. I think this is the week where you're really going to sort of, you're going to consult that part of your consciousness that lies outside of your kind of logical mind, the gears that turn inside here. Okay? And that's how you're going to get that kind of certainty. Okay. I think for some of you, this might have to do with travel. I think this week maybe there's this decision of like whether you have moved to the right place or not, and whether you need to move again or move back or stay put. Okay. I feel like there's actually some kind of geographical move that has taken place for some of you anyway, Libra. Okay. The last card, destiny, the overarching kind of trajectory of your life is you, okay? Just like we have you back here, we have you up here again. The Knight of Swords is a cardinal air energy. This is somebody with really confident choices, yeah? This is your true self, so I think that this is really about your independence. This is about you stepping into your confident energy. And in a kind of a long-term trajectory for you, your destiny, right? You're destined for an independence and for a kind of a mental force, yeah? And it doesn't mean that you're independent as in you're alone. Independence does not mean loneliness, right? Independence means that you can trust your decisions, yeah? So I feel like this is kind of, this is maybe a week that is going to require some very decisive actions, maybe some confrontation with your own thoughts and feelings, but it's leading you to a bigger picture, right? A larger kind of story arc of you trusting yourself and being in your confidence and being able to say, I made a mistake, I fixed it. No big deal, right? I made a move, wrong move back. No big deal, right? Maybe there's a loss of some resources, maybe things slow down, but it's not the doom and gloom despair that we might sometimes feel. So I feel that this is you wielding the sword like a real knight of swords, somebody that is confident with their decisions and confident that even when they're confused, and see, that's, if you believe in yourself and you trust in yourself and you have confidence, it doesn't mean you're always right. It doesn't mean that you never say the wrong thing or give the wrong answer or make the wrong move. No, it means that you can recognize your mistakes quickly, and you can sort truth from falsehood quickly, and you can make the right decision as quickly as possible. If you were wrong, okay, I was wrong, and let's go forward. If you were right, you can say, okay, well, I'm worrying for nothing, let's move forward. But it's a very quick move, it's a very fast moving, It's really able to course correct quickly, to rectify our mistakes quickly, And if this wasn't a mistake, let's say that Seven of Cups is just you getting nervous or having cold feet, right? And you can say, you know what, I've meditated upon it, I've prayed over it, or whatever you do, and I'm just being nervous. Let's move forward. But the quickness, the swift action is the moving forward. Okay, so this may be a week of, really intense kind of deliberation and, trying to sort of channel your higher self or your intuition. But you're sort of, the longer trajectory, like I said, is you learning to trust yourself more. Learning that, you are becoming a knight of that sword. That ability to think and make decisions and analyze and to understand the difference between warning, red flag, warning, and just, I'm kind of scared and nervous and I got cold feet. You're becoming more and more your true self through this process over the long term. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card. This is card 11. This is the guide or guidance. It's advice, it's higher wisdom, it's sometimes a spiritual message that's going to bring about more alignment for you. So it might be an answer, It could be another Seven of Cups. It could be, if it's, it's one of these so-called negative cards, well, then maybe we have our answer. But every card has light and shadow, so we'll take a look. And it's the World card. So it's also confirming that for some of you, this is going to be travel. Okay, for some of you, there's definitely a geographical relocation that's taking place for you. And this might be... even a card that's kind of like trying to say you're home now. Like this is where you belong. Yeah, this is where you fit in. This is where you're supposed to be. And maybe we're feeling that Seven of Cups. Maybe we're feeling it like it's kind of restless. We're feeling like, oh no, I made a mistake. But no, maybe it's just we're just trying to settle into where we are. This is a card of completion, fulfillment, and mastery. I feel like this is indicating that this week what you're doing is a major achievement. That there is going to be some closure, something's coming full circle, okay? I feel like you are standing in your wholeness. In a way, this is also kind of an echo of our 10 of Pentacles and the Empress and the World card. These are very similar cards, right? The 10 of Pentacles is your human vision of what you want your life to be. The Empress is kind of the archetype of that paradise and that good life. This is kind of like that healing mother energy. The World card is kind of like the grandmother energy, right? If this is the Earth, this is our galaxy, right? And this is your physical house, right? And so it's kind of a difference of octave. It's an increase in scale. You see. And so I like the World card here as our sort of guidance card, as our spiritual message, It's kind of like saying, we're going to find where we really belong. We're going to have closure and we are going to have the achievement that we're looking for. You are going to arrive at your destination. This is ultimately where you're trying to navigate to. Okay. I don't know that it necessarily is giving us the clarity, like saying this is a yes or a no, right? I feel like that's still up to you and your higher self. But I feel like this is kind of the promise that's saying like, look, you're going through that growth where you're learning how to make decisions and you're learning to trust yourself and you're trusting yourself even to say, well, when I make a mistake, I can fix it. Because that's trusting yourself too, right? And so by going through this process, you are guaranteeing that you're going to arrive at whatever destination you're after, whatever your hopes and dreams are, whatever your goals are, okay? Whatever you're hoping to build in your life, you will be standing in that wholeness, okay? Wonderful. We're going to do an extended reading as well. I hope you will join us over there. Please hit the like button on the video, drop a comment, whatever it is, say hi. Give your impression, tell me if this resonates, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.